Oh, watch out, Talon. Don't die tripping over yourself.
My name is Quinn Talon. I'm 16 years old. I hate school.
Or better yet, maybe do us all the favor and die.
It's because of situations like these. Just shut up, John. Yeah, maybe I should have just ignored those stupid comments.
How dare you, you level 1 piece of crap. When are you going to learn you don't belong in this world?
But I really can't help myself.
Are you okay? Oh, I didn't... Sorry. I can't believe you almost helped that loser. I didn't know who it was. Oh. I thought Quinn talentless almost made a friend. Ew, never. Ew.
I should be used to the bullying by now. I just thought they'd ease up on the last day of school. But maybe this will be the thing that finally sets things right.
A tenuous peace treaty with the Dalki race is set to expire at the end of next month.
This crappy apartment was assigned to me by the government after my parents died in the war.
Quinn! Quinn! Protect this at all cost. One day, it'll change your life.
Mom! Aliens burned the world, killed my family, and all I got was this book. A book that is proven impossible to open. But I keep trying. My parents must have left it to me for a reason. Okay, test 112. Hydrochloric acid. Here's to hoping. Okay. No reaction yet. Okay, hang on. I mean, this is pointless. I mean, well, I don't know why I keep trying. I don't know why my parents had this stupid piece of garbage. What the hell is happening?
Congratulations. You have been granted the vampire system. Initiating startup sequence.
Hello?
Calibrating new user interface.
Who's there? Show yourself!
Readying user for data upload.
What happened last night? What? There's no way. I can see the whole room. How? Was it the book? It's gone. Book. Think, Quinn. Just try to remember what happened.
Menu.
Main menu.
Who said that? What is all this? This thing, it's controlled by my thoughts? The skills tab? It's like one of those old game systems. Did this come from the book?
Ability books can be absorbed for additional XP.
Skill systems. So the book my parents gave me actually does work. Oh, yes! Okay. Waterbending. Okay. Wind power. Psychic power. Lightning. Okay. So this is all I get. A glorified user interface?
Systems are often disregarded as simple computers, but with the right user, they can become quite powerful once leveled up.
How do I level up?
Drink 2 liters of water.
2 liters for 5 XP, huh? Well, how hard can that be? Okay. Oh, my stomach feels like it's gonna burst.
Challenge complete. 5 experience points awarded.
At least I know the system works now. Hopefully, if I keep doing quests, I'll level up and get stronger. Yeah?
Quinn,
Yeah?
Show's been waiting outside for 5 minutes already.
What shuttle?
Don't play dumb, me boy. It's draft day. It's time for you to go to military school.
Oh, that's right. How could I forget? The war with the Dalki wiped out most of the population. Because of this, every student age 16 was required to attend military school for 2 years. It's so bright. What's happening to me?
Your body is being hit by direct sunlight. All stats will be reduced by 50% during exposure. Seek shade immediately.
I'm weaker in sunlight now. What kind of drawback is this?
You okay, son? You hear me, boy?
Yeah, I'm working on it.
You are no longer in direct sunlight. Stats have returned to normal.
What a relief. That was torture.
Keep moving, recruit.
At least it looks like no one from school is on this bus.
Empty seat.
Andy. Keyword, direct sunlight. Another quest. At least this one looks easy.
Buckle up.
Hey, how long do you think this bus ride's gonna take?
I don't know. I mean, it could be...
Quiet.
I wonder what life will be like here.
Warning. A foreign substance has been detected. Activating oxygen reserves.
What? Is something going on?
Your resistance to the substance has increased. Approximately 30 seconds of consciousness remaining.
I have got to get out of here.
Don't fight, son. Don't fight.
What the hell?
Welcome to the academy. You'll spend the next 2 years of your miserable lives here. So you better get used to it. Placed on your wrist is a lifeline. It identifies you as a student here at the academy. It also allows you access to certain areas, daily rations, libations, and all sorts of amenities. Most importantly, it'll keep you from leaving. Ever seen someone out on the street with a missing hand? That's the mark of a deserter. Once you've been tested, it will display a number representing your corresponding power level.
I think I can get at least a 5.
What?
I heard no one's gotten higher than 5 on their first try. Well, except for original descendants.
What's his angle? No one this cool was ever this nice to me at school.
You know, people who don't need ability books to get their powers are just innate.
I know what an original is.
Okay, hotshot. I'm just making conversation. Vorden Blade.
Quinn, talent.
Use of foreign ability detected. Ability attempt blocked.
Ability blocked?
What'd you say your ability was again?
First testing group. Quinn Talon. Peter Chuck.
Just calm down.
Vorden Blade. Layla Monroe.
Let's hurry this up.
And Aaron Ellie.
Finally.
You 5 will be today's first testing group.
They're testing everyone's abilities?
Not everyone survives this test. May God have mercy on your souls.
But I don't even know what my abilities are.
Peter Chuck, step forward. What is your ability? I don't have any ability. Study the book in your own free time. When you have finally learned to use it, you can come back to redo the test. But for now, I'll have to temporarily award you a level 1 power status. Quinn Talon, step forward. What is your ability? Unlike Peter, he already knew that the military freely gave all students who had no ability their very own ability book. Everyone would receive a level 1 Earth ability book. I don't have an ability. I'm sorry, but I don't want it. This was the first time someone with no ability had rejected the book. Let's see how long you can survive in this cruel world, Quinn. The test will begin immediately. 3 targets popped up out of the ground at random locations around the wasteland. Quinn tried to look for the targets. Everything appeared like a blur in the distance. Is this because I'm out in the sunlight? Quinn had no choice but to slowly run up to each of the targets and hit them with his fist, one by one. Quinn Talon, your overall current power level is that of a level 1 ability user. When the test started, 5 targets appeared in different areas of the wasteland. Layla immediately took out 5 arrows and placed them in her bow, shooting them all off at once in the same direction. The next person to take the test was Erin. She quickly formed an ice spear and chucked it at the first targets, hitting it dead on. She repeated this 4 more times at an incredible speed, nearly clearing them all just as fast as Layla did. So far, you're the 3rd first-year student with a power level of 5. On every single one of the tests, Vorden copied the exact same moves as Erin. He used the very same ice ability, performed just as well as Erin. See, I told you I was strong. Vorden gleefully pointed at the number 5 to his seemingly new best friend, Quinn. Are you able to copy other people's abilities? That's the first time someone has figured it out so fast. How did you figure it out? When you shook my hand, you seemed surprised that nothing happened. Once you have dropped off your things, feel free to explore around the academy. There will be no lessons today, so enjoy the free time and make sure to be in your rooms during the curfew. What's with all the books? Are you looking for something in particular? I was trying to decide what ability to get, since I've turned down the school's offer. A book titled The Truth About Vampires immediately caught his interest. The only thing he could relate to was getting weakened by the sun. Eventually, Quinn decided to close the book and call it a day. You have gained more knowledge about the system. 10 EXP received. 15 of 100 EXP. He was walking through the school hallway when he saw a kid being pushed up against the wall by another student. It was, in fact, Peter. He had wanted to test out his strength, and it seemed fate had presented him with the perfect guinea pig. The student in front of him was only at a power level of 1.2, so there was a high chance he could win, especially inside where he was not weakened by the sun. The bully was so engrossed in his act that he didn't notice Quinn until the latter pretended to fall over and bumped into the student, causing him to stumble off balance and miss. An enemy ability user has been detected. Initiating battle mode. You have received a new quest. First fight, defeat your opponent. Reward 50 EXP. You weak piece of garbage, the student shouted and came charging forward. Quickly, he slashed his hand out at Quinn. Luckily, Quinn's increased stats allowed him to lift his arm in time to block the attack. However, the student's hand managed to slice right through a part of Quinn's arm, drawing blood. Damn it, Quinn cursed. The student maneuvered his way around Quinn, moving quicker than he looked. His claws slashed at Quinn's unprotected back, injuring him once more. Once the class had finished, it was time for the students to take a break. Vorden, Quinn, and Peter headed outside to grab a snack. We have some business to discuss with the three of you. Do you mind coming with us? Some rumors have reached my ears of a high-level student hanging around with a bunch of low-levels. You see, the moment you start treating this trash like they are useful to society, they might start to get a big head. I didn't come here to fight you guys. Consider today to be a friendly warning. There are people in this school that not even the military can touch, and if you continue acting this way, they will get involved. I think I might just have solved our credits problem, the first boy said, grinning. Lucky us to meet some of the few level 1s in this whole school. Hand over 10 credits each, and we'll let you head inside. An enemy ability user has been detected. You have received a new quest. Second fight, defeat the student known as Riley. Reward 50 EXP. A power level difference of 1 has been detected. Additional EXP will be rewarded. If you pull this sort of thing again on me, Riley, you're dead, Quinn said, and gestured with his hand a cutthroat. What the hell did you say to me, you little punk? Run! Quinn shouted towards Peter. Like a bolt of lightning, the two friends ran as fast as they could to their next class. A loud growling noise escaped from Quinn's stomach. Sorry, I guess I'm still hungry after dinner. Although he would have liked to buy himself a snack, he had no credits after their earlier encounter. Transfer of 10 credits successful, the notification sounded. Don't refuse, man, just take it as my apology and go grab something. Once past the gates, Quinn decided to test out how much 10 stamina points really were. He noticed while running at night, he could see everything very clearly, even when there were no streetlights. A type of night vision of sorts. That was when he suddenly spotted Riley and his friends in the same store. Quinn waited until he heard Riley and the others leave the store. Then he grabbed the mask and snacks and placed them on the counter. Riley started to head back to school and passed through a small park on the way back. The area was completely void of people at this time and had very little lighting. There were also plenty of trees for Quinn to hide behind. It's showtime. Quinn hyped himself up as he put on the mask. Riley was still lost in his daydream when out of nowhere something hit him from the side. He felt the impact on his face and staggered to the floor, holding his chin. When he looked up from where he had fallen, he saw the silhouette of a boy standing over him with a horrifying mask. Under the moonlight, it looked like real blood, making Riley panicked. With one last fast, swift attack to the back of his head, the red-haired boy got knocked out. Second fight has been completed. 50 EXP received. Congratulations, you are now level 2. You are now a halfling. Skill unlocked. Level 1, blood swipe. You can no longer suppress your need for blood. Your HP will decrease by -1 HP every hour until you have consumed human blood. Have I become a vampire? He mumbled to himself. Something was drawing him to Riley's body. He could smell his victim's blood. He could hear the beating heart. Without realizing it, he bent towards Riley and could see his pulse beating through his neck. Quinn hurried head back to school and placed the mask into his shopping bag. When he woke up the next day, the pain was worse than before. Your hunger grows. You have lost -10 HP. HP 5 of 15. Your HP will continue to decrease every hour. What the hell is happening to me? Quinn was worried. His hands wouldn't stop shaking. Each time Quinn's HP went down, it was getting harder and harder to control his own body. Quinn eventually ended up in the library. He sat on the floor and read one last book and found nothing of use. When he closed the book, he could see Layla standing there opposite him. Layla bent down so she was at eye level with him and placed her hand on his forehead to check his temperature. "Do you want me to take you to the nurse's office?" Urge was uncontrollable. Sighing, he pulled Layla by the arm, bringing her close to him. A weak sorry escaped his lips as he bit into her neck. Surprisingly, Layla didn't feel any pain from this. The bite seemed to have a paralysis effect. Finally, Quinn's hunger was dissipating. Your hunger has decreased. HP regenerating. HP regenerating. 15 of 15 HP. Immediately he let go of Layla, causing her body to fall to the ground. What the? Quinn wondered aloud, unsure where he was. A positive blood type has been absorbed. You have gained 1 strength. There's a free bed there. If you could leave her there, I will get to her as soon as I can. I was in the library when I saw her on the ground like that. Quinn, thank God you're here. Quick, I've been looking everywhere for you. It's Vorden, he's in trouble. Me and Vorden were busy messing around, practicing my Earth ability together. That's when a bunch of second years I'd never seen before came up to us asking for Vorden. Vorden told me not to worry, but of course I'm so worried, so I followed them. That's when I saw them take him to the assembly hall, but 2 of the students stood guard and wouldn't let me come inside. I didn't know what to do, so that's when I came looking for you. The 2 of them then headed back to the dorm room together, and when they entered, they were surprised to actually see Vorden already there. Just leave me alone, please. Quinn knew he was safe. Whatever problems Vorden were dealing with now would just have to wait. As Layla looked around the room, she started to rub her neck, and at the same time, images had flashed through her head of what had happened at the library. She remembered everything. You're a vampire, aren't you? And why would you think that? I saw you lifting that boy's neck. At the time, I thought you doing something else, because I couldn't see clearly. I want you to hear me out. I want you to make me a vampire. Now Quinn realized why Layla didn't tell anyone. Simply put, this girl was crazy. I'm not a vampire. I became like this from an ability book. Quinn then proceeded to tell Layla about everything that had happened so far, but left out the details about the game-like system, only stating that he continued on as normal when suddenly he had this incurable hunger. Layla felt like it was a mixture of things she had read about vampires before. We can't have you going around school biting people. They'll take you away in a heartbeat. If you need to feast on someone, then feast on me. As planned, Layla was standing there waiting for him by the gate with her bow on her back. Layla felt a small prick in her arm. Once the syringe had been filled up, Quinn squirted it out into one of the test tubes he brought with him. Quinn then looked at Layla and used his inspect skill once again. Name, Layla Monroe. Race, human. Ability, telekinesis. Blood type, A positive. It was as Quinn thought. When using the inspect skill on the blood, it only showed him what blood type it was and who it was from, just like the time at the assembly hall. But if the person was in front of him, it would reveal their ability, HP, and blood type. If only there was someone else's blood I could test this on. That's when they saw 2 students starting to walk into the forest. It was Riley. As Quinn put on his mask, he moved in closer to where Riley and the student were. That's when the student held up against the tree and spotted Quinn. "Please help me!" the student cried. "You idiot!" Just then, 2 students came running in from the park and into the forest. "You think you can take on 3 of us?" Quinn looked at the 2 students running towards them, and that's when an arrow came flying from the woods and hit one of them in the knee, causing the student to instantly fall to the ground. Quinn saw this as an opportunity and dashed away from Riley and started heading towards the other student. Blood swipe, blood swipe, blood swipe. HP 11 of 15. An opponent has been defeated. 50 EXP granted. 110 of 200 EXP. Please, please don't hurt me. I'll do anything. Hand over all your credits. Riley quickly transferred over 50 credits. Quinn then went to his bag to pull out a test tube and held Riley's leg up, allowing the blood to slowly drip into the test tube until it filled up. "Here goes," Quinn said, as he popped the cork open and drank the small tube of blood. "You have regained 5 points of HP, 14 of 15 HP. B positive blood type has been absorbed. Plus 1 point of agility has been added." "Oh, Quinn, you're back," Vorden said, smiling. "Did you have fun?" "Yeah, a little bit," Quinn said. "Vorden here said you got a girlfriend," Peter quickly added. "What?" Quinn said. "You know that girl that was with us at the testing that time. We're just acquaintances. I was talking about how she got to use her weapon and discussing what classes to take. I'm going to join the Beast Weapons class." When the next morning had arrived, the 3 boys headed down for breakfast as a group as usual. Vorden decided to split from Quinn and Peter and sat on his own on the higher power level tables. But even then, no one seemed to be sitting next to Vorden. "Do me a favor, will you?" Quinn asked. "Keep an eye on Vorden. If anything happens, let me know." "But if something happens, I won't be strong enough to help. And you can't exactly do anything either," Peter replied. "I'm not telling you to get involved. I don't think Vorden is expecting you to help him out either, but just let me know what you see." Finally, after finishing their breakfast, it was time for their combat classes. Quinn had chosen the Beast Weapons class after thinking long and hard. Standing at the back of the hall was a bald-headed man wearing leather armor and had a long katana blade by his side. But the katana blade hilt was jagged and rough, and the back of the blade the same. It looked like it had been forged from an animal that was not of this planet. When Layla had entered and spotted Quinn, she immediately came over to him. "This class is a lot more popular than I thought," Layla said. The room was filled with about 30 students inside. The other classes had around 50, but it was still more than they had expected. "Yeah, I wonder what weapon I should pick," Quinn said, staring at the wall. "Well, I already have mine," Layla said, pointing to her bow on her back. "Attention!" Everyone froze and turned to look at the old man. "My name is Leo, and I will be your teacher for today. Your first task will be to pick your weapon. You must think carefully. Your weapon is your lifeline." The students fanned out and started to look at weapons. Quinn looked at the wall and saw all sorts of things. Axes, short swords, spiked clubs, whips, scythes. There was so much to choose from. He needed something that suited him right now and his ability. Quinn then walked up to one of the random swords on the wall and used his inspect skill. Forge sword, tier basic beast weapon, strength +3, agility -2. The sword is incompatible with the skill blood swipe. As soon as Quinn realized that his inspect skill would tell him the stats of each weapon, he started to go around the room looking for the perfect one for him. All the weapons Quinn had inspected so far was at the basic tier level, the lowest level a weapon could be. After searching around the room for a while, Quinn came across a weapon that stood out from the rest. Black horned gauntlets, basic tier beast weapon. This weapon is compatible with the skill blood swipe. When used with the gauntlets, blood swipe will have an increase of 5% in power. The gauntlets were black in color and had little tiny horns going up the forearm. "What a strange choice, young boy," Leo said. "It's not many people's first choice." "Do you mind if I try it?" Quinn asked. "Go ahead," Leo said as he left to check up on other students selecting weapons. Basic horn gauntlets equipped, strength 12, agility 12, stamina 11, defense 2. Now when Quinn checked out his status screen, he had a smaller number next to his stats, which would indicate the equipment level. He felt 3 times stronger compared to before he had discovered the system. Once everyone had finished picking out their weapon, Leo called everyone to gather around the center ring. "Now, I won't claim to be any expert in every weapon," said Leo, "but what I am an expert in is fighting with weapons alone. For your first lesson, I want to see what you've got. We will have a sparring match, 2 people at a time." Erin was the first to put her hand up. She held a single silver longsword that shined bright. It wasn't one of the weapons that Quinn had seen on the wall, so he could only assume it had been one she already owned. At first, a lot of the students were hesitant of going up against Erin. "Oh, I also forgot to add, abilities will be banned during today's sparring sessions," Leo added. After saying those words, students had raised their hands like a rocket. They all wanted to get the chance to beat the famous Ice Queen. In the end, a large man was selected from the crowd who wielded a 2-handed axe. "I think you chose the wrong club. Your ice abilities will be useless here," the man said. Erin didn't reply, though, and simply took her stance. The man charged in, wielding his large axe above his head. When he swung it down, Erin spun her body to the side, avoiding the blow, and at the same time slashed at the back of the man's legs, causing him to stumble. She then placed her blade towards the man's neck, inches away from his throat. "I give up," the man said. Everything had happened in an instant, and the room was suddenly silenced. 2 men seemed to appear out of thin air, wearing a black military uniform. They then grabbed the student by both arms and escorted him to the school doctor to get healed up. The group continued to watch a few fights. The next fight that had caught Leo's attention was the fight with Layla. She had trapped her opponent multiple times, but a few arrows in the boy's legs stopped him dead in his tracks before Leo had decided to call the match himself. The next pair, Quinn Talon and Brandon Richardson, to the arena. As Quinn walked up to the stage, he noticed that Brandon held a large spear in hand, which had great reach. The end was sharp, with a single curved blade at the end. "Opponent power level 3. Bonus EXP will be rewarded." "Begin!" Leo shouted. Brandon immediately charged in with his spear, while Quinn stood there and took a fighting stance with both of his hands held out in front of him. When Brandon was within striking distance, he thrust his spear forward. It was fast and impressive to the people watching outside.
but to Quinn, who had 12 points in agility, it was easy for him to dodge. "What the hell?" Brandon said as he tried pulling the spear back. "Let go!" While holding the spear with one hand, Quinn opened up his other hand and swung out his fist like a claw as hard as he could at the spear. Then, a few moments later, the spear had been sliced in half. "What the? My weapon, it's faulty!" Brandon complained, but Leo did nothing to step in. Quinn rushed forward, and before Brandon could do anything, Quinn punched him hard in the stomach. Brandon's feet lifted off the ground, and it looked like his body was about to fly away. "Inspect. Brandon Richardson, ability elemental, HP 5 of 15, blood type O positive." Quinn grabbed him and pulled him back down, and at the same time kneed him in the face, causing Brandon's nose to bleed and his head to be sent backwards. And finally, Brandon collapsed, lying there on the ground. "Winner, Quinn Talon," Leo said. "Opponent has been defeated, 50 EXP rewarded. First time higher power level bonus 50 EXP rewarded. 220 of 200 EXP. Congratulations, you are now level 3. 20 of 400 EXP. 1 attribute point awarded. New skill, Blood Bank, unlocked." With the messages, there was also a new skill that had been unlocked. Before Quinn could leave the arena, a couple of boys shouted from the crowd. "That's not fair," a boy said. "Brandon obviously was using a faulty weapon." "Settle down, everyone. I can guarantee that no abilities were used," Leo said. However, what Leo didn't reveal was that from the very beginning, when Quinn had stepped into the room, he could see his aura was slightly different from everyone else's. As Quinn was heading back to his dorm room, he decided to first put his stat point into something. HP 20 of 20, Strength 6, Agility 6, Stamina 6. All stats are currently halved due to being hit by the direct sunlight. Quinn decided to stick with his plan and add the stat point to agility. As long as he could hit his opponents without being hit back, he couldn't see himself losing, and worst case, if he couldn't hurt his opponent, he could always run away. Agility 13. The next thing Quinn wanted to check out was the new skill he had obtained from leveling up. Skill, Blood Bank level 1. The skill Blood Bank will allow you to store up to 100 liters of blood in your reserve. The blood bank will automatically be used to heal the user if HP drops below 5. Quinn then took out the test tube of Layla's blood and used his inspect skill. Skill Blood Bank. Blood Bank 10 of 100. Your hunger grows. Daily quest complete 5 EXP has been rewarded. 25 of 400 EXP. Your hunger grows. Your HP will now drop by -1 HP every hour until human blood has been consumed. Skill Blood Bank. 10 milliliters of blood will be consumed. Would you like to proceed? Yes. After selecting the yes option, a sweet fragrance entered his mouth. The hole he could feel in his stomach had disappeared, and once again he was satisfied and back to normal. For the next week, combat class was a normal requirement for students. Today's lessons will be sparring once again, but this time you will pick your own opponents. Don't worry, Quinn, I'll let you in the first one, she said with a wink. I'm sorry about this, young lady, but I'm going to have to ask you to sit out of this one, Leo said. Show me what you got, boy, and don't hold back. Look at him, he cheats in my match and now he's getting special treatment, Brandon complained. Before the sparring match started, Quinn decided to use his inspect skill, but for the first time ever, not a single bit of information had come up. A strong opponent has appeared. Defeat the opponent for an instant level up reward. What's wrong? Leo asked. Oh, nothing, sorry, Quinn said as he got into a fighting stance. All right, students, the minute starts now, Leo shouted. I can't believe I'm actually having fun against a student, Leo said, laughing. Now try this, Leo shouted. The attack from Leo's katana blade came from underneath. Before Quinn knew it, the blade was right underneath his chin. Beep, beep, beep. Oh, looks like our time is up, Leo said. About level 14 or 13, maybe. That's pretty good for a first-year student. Quinn was in admiration for the weapons teacher. Please, would you be able to teach me how to fight? Quinn asked as he bowed down. Unfortunately, the weapon you have chosen I do not specialize in myself. There is one thing I can suggest to you. There's a popular VR fighting game that the military students from all the other schools play. The first thing you will need to do is get experience. Thank you so much, Quinn said as he bowed down again. Oh, and before I forget, it's been a while since I have had fun like that. As a prize, feel free to keep the gauntlets, Leo said as he walked off back to the center of the weapons hall. Do you mind if us two have a round? Brandon asked. Please, I would like to be your next opponent, Faye asked as he drew out his 2 short swords. I don't see why not, Quinn said. And please, begin, Leo shouted. Meanwhile, in Layla and Brandon's match, Brandon didn't seem to be doing much at all. 10 of 20 HP. You... Quinn groaned. So you want to play games then? Quinn said. Then let's play some games. Enough! Stop now! Leo said as he pointed his blade towards Quinn. 2 wrongs do not make a right. Take him to the doctor's office and make sure he gets treated, Leo said. After checking the men had disappeared, Quinn had decided to head to the bathroom rather than to the doctor's office, was because he could already feel his body was healing up. 12 of 20 HP. Your hunger grows. Your hunger grows. 15 of 20 HP. You will no longer heal. Your HP will continue to decrease by -1 HP until human blood has been consumed. Why did I get kicked out as well? You were the only one who used an ability, Faye complained. Hey, you were fine with the plan when I told you about it earlier. Why are you getting so annoyed about it now? Brandon said. You were the one who dragged me into it all because you lost to a level 1. Embarrassing, Faye chuckled. Do I need to remind you that I'm a higher level than you, Faye? Or do we have to fight so you can learn your place? What the... Is that Quinn's clothes? Peter said as he lifted them off the ground. They're covered in blood. Did he get hurt during training? What happened to him? Vorden thought. Did the second years target him too, or did something happen in training? I told you we should have kept an eye on him. We should have killed those second years when we had the chance. Oh, is Quinn here? Layla said. Tell me what happened to Quinn now. What the hell's wrong with you? Layla managed to groan out. Hey, Vorden, I think you're hurting her, Peter said quietly. The little one didn't like you, and the other one told me not to get involved, but in the end, I'm always the one that has to deal with things, Vorden said. Hey, seriously, Vorden, you're going too far, Peter shouted. Shut up, Vorden shouted as he turned to look at Peter. My name is not Vorden either. Ah! Vorden cried as he flinched and let go of Layla. Don't you dare move, you psycho, said Layla. I swear if you do, I will not hesitate to shove this arrow right in your head. I don't even know why Quinn asked me to look out for you. If you ask me, he's better off without someone like you. Wait, Quinn really said that? Vorden said in a gentle tone. Look, I'm sorry about what just happened, but I just want to know what happened to Quinn. As Vorden said these words, his eyebrows were slightly twitching. His personality had taken a complete 180 turn, and Layla didn't know what to make of it. Hey, are you all right, man? You kind of acting a little strange there, Peter asked. Yeah, I'm fine, Vorden said. Well, I don't like her. I agree, we should get rid of her. Vorden, are you okay? Peter asked again. You've been standing there looking at the floor for a while now. What the... Faye was too slow to react, and all he could do was lift his hand, but the blow was extremely powerful. When the red lines touched his skin, it immediately caused blood to be drawn. 11 of 20 HP, 20 of 20 HP, blood bank has been filled 100 milliliters, A positive blood type has been consumed, +1 strength stat, 50 EXP has been awarded. You monster, get off of him, Loop shouted. Well, since you're the only one here, why don't you come with us? Momo said. The bone spikes had managed to pierce Quinn's body in several different places, and his hands were protected by the gauntlets. Let's see what you're hiding under that mask, Loop said as he stabbed one of the bone swords into Quinn's foot, and then lifted another one at his face. He had thrown a total of 6 blood swipes in rapid succession. After defending against the first 6 attacks, Loop thought he was done. Opponent has been defeated, although Loop was bleeding and Quinn was able to just drink from the open wound. I don't know whether it's a good thing or a bad thing that I'm finding it easier every time I do this. 20 of 20 HP restored. Blood bank has been filled. Although Quinn wore his mask, there was still the chance of someone figuring out it was him. There you are, Layla said. Quick, we have to get out of here. The guards will be here any second now. Layla then started to look around the roof. I have a plan. Grab me and let's jump. Just trust me, come on, I can use my ability. Hey, that was pretty cool. As she went to check up on Faye, she noticed he was now sleeping calmly. However, when she looked at Loop, something had caught her eye that concerned her. In a certain spot on the boy's neck, there were 2 small puncture wounds similar to that of a snake bite. Hey, General, I believe there might be a stray beast roaming around the school. Just then, though, as Haley got off her call, Hurry, the student is in critical condition, the guard shouted. She tried and tried to use her abilities, but it was useless. The student was already too far gone. He had died. Report, confirming the time of death 9:30 p.m., a first-year student named Brandon Richardson. I heard you got in an accident. Is everything okay? Vorden asked. As you can see, I've made a complete recovery. You don't need to worry about me. Hey, is it okay to talk to you in private? Loop asked. I promise I won't tell anyone about your secret. Please, whatever you do, just let me live. I just don't want what happened to Brandon happening to me. What happened to Brandon? I just don't want to get involved, and I'll stay out of your way. As long as you stay out of my way, I will stay out of yours. Just who did kill Brandon? Was there anyone in the school who had a grudge against him? What is he doing over there? Are they targeting him? Quinn asked. Who knows? When Peter entered the canteen, he looked at me and said, I'm going to hang out with some new friends I made the other day. Quinn, can you not see this guy is crazy yet? Don't call me crazy, Vorden said slowly, saying each word. Hey, I think you both need to calm down, said Quinn. This crazy boy attacked me when I went to your room last night. Look, I said, don't call me crazy. And again, just like last time, Vorden slowly said each word, one by one. Did you attack her? I'm sorry about attacking you. I thought you might have come in to attack me and Peter as well. It was clear to her that Vorden was unstable. I'll just leave you be for now, Vorden said. Why did you get in my way? We could have taught that girl a lesson. What did I tell you? It's because of you we're in this mess in the first place. You attacked her. It's our fault to begin with. It will be individual practice. You have fought for the last couple of days with your weapon. I wish there was someone who could teach me how to use these things. A suitable weapon is currently in use. Hand-to-hand combat level 1 will now be shown. In the video stood a single, tall, long-haired blonde man in a large empty room. Hello and welcome to Hand-to-Hand Combat Classes for Beginners. I will now demonstrate a set of skills that you should be able to perform at your level. The first move is a defensive move. I call it Flash Step. To perform this, if the system has been set up correctly, you will need at least 15 points of agility. The next skill I will show you is the Hammer Strike. Cool, right? Quinn, I'm afraid I have some bad news. I'm afraid you will have to follow these men. They have a few questions they would like to ask you. A student by the name of Brandon Richardson has passed away recently. That he and another student named Faye Lan had attacked you during combat classes yesterday. Faye was also admitted to the hospital late last night. Although it's hard to believe someone with no ability like you could do something like this, there is always a way. The woman sitting opposite you here has the ability to detect whether someone is telling the truth or not. I just need you to place your hand over mine. Now tell me, did you kill Brandon Richardson last night? She asked. No, I did not. He's telling the truth. Welcome, every single one of you, Momo said. You see, there has been someone going around trying to go against us, thinking he can break the previous system that has been around for years in this school. This is what happens to those who do not obey. We will show you how to activate a beast weapon using these balls. The board here is special, you see. Even a bullet wouldn't be able to penetrate through it. Only the power of a beast weapon can. So today's lesson is to throw the ball and hit the target. Simple, right? Oh, I almost forgot. The crazy boy here has been targeting us second years one by one, thinking we wouldn't notice. Quinn, go call Leo. If it's him, he might stop this mess. How is that possible? He was able to activate the basic tier weapon fully. Quinn then chucked the ball using all his strength as hard as he could. It landed straight in the student's stomach, standing by the side of the board. Get him! Momo shouted. This was Quinn's plan. So far, every level up, Quinn was able to obtain an ability. To anyone who manages to hit or capture that guy, they will be free from any form of punishment. Just then, the two level 4 students who were chasing after Quinn no longer cared about injuring the first years, causing it to fall to the ground. I don't know how you can activate the beast weapon so well, and your surprise attacks seem to work, but you will always be a weak level 1. Vorden, watching the whole thing from the board, felt useless. If you want to help him, then let me take over, a voice said in Vorden's head. Hey you, free me, I can deal with him. Come on, hurry, we don't have much time. Touch my leg. She crawled over to Vorden's side and touched his leg as he had asked. Vorden was using Layla's telekinesis ability, but it was weak. It wasn't strong enough to break from the shackles. The shackles were finally removed, and Vorden was free. He then lifted one of the black balls from the ground, using his telekinesis. The boy immediately fell to one knee. Finally, I, Rayton, have returned. Me and you both know you're not going to hurt him, Quinn, Momo said. If you attack too deep and kill him, you'll be in trouble.
Just as Quinn was deciding what to do, Momo sensed something and moved his head at the last second. He saw Vorden standing there. He could see a few had already been taken down. "So you got free, huh?" Momo said. "Do you not remember what happened to you the last time the two of us fought? Last time you fought against that weakling. This time you're fighting me," Rayton said. "I'm not as nice as Vorden. Looks like you don't remember what happened last time." He then swung his whip, destroying the other without even looking where it was. Quinn's guess about Momo was nearly spot on. Momo could see 2 seconds ahead into the future. Quinn wasn't the only one who had figured out Momo's ability. Rayton had as well. "Who cares if you know what I'm going to do?" Rayton shouted. Rayton then started running towards him. Momo could see the black balls coming at him. After being hit with the black balls, Momo moved away from Vorden, creating distance between the two. "I have to admit, I didn't expect you to be able to use 2 abilities. It looks like you were hiding a trump card after all." While in his right hand he held a whip, something started to form in his left hand. At first, it looked just like a bunch of light particles forming something, but then eventually another whip appeared. Only this felt and looked different, as if it was alive almost. "So he has one after all, huh? A soul weapon." "Do you need some blood?" Layla whispered. "No, I'm fine. Your friend. I hate to admit it, but he's strong." After looking at Vorden now and seeing how he fought so skillfully, and he was even using 2 abilities effortlessly, Quinn quickly realized there wasn't much he knew about Vorden. "You think a soul weapon is strong enough to defeat us? It's time to give this man hell." Just then, though, the doors to the assembly hall were swung wide open, and in came a tall, silver-haired female, and standing behind her was Peter. "I command everyone to halt this instant," she said. "If anyone does not obey this command, prepare to be punished. Those of you who are injured, go to the doctor's office to be treated immediately, while the rest of you head to the dorms and stay inside until you are called out again. Do you understand?" Faye said. "What is this? For this much blood, the wound should be a lot bigger." Yeah, my friend has a healing ability and managed to heal me a bit before I got here." Meanwhile, inside one of the integration rooms, a large muscular man with forearms the size of thighs was sitting opposite the second-year student Momo, and on his shoulder the man had the rank of general. His name was Duke King, and he was head of the second-year students. "I did as you asked, and now I might pay for it." "Nothing will come of this, I promise you that. You're only students, and these types of things happen, and I'll vouch for you." "Really? So this won't all fall back on me then?" Momo asked. "Of course, as long as no one finds out about our little secret." Inside the academy, on the top floor, the leaders of the academy had gathered in a fairly large meeting hall. "We are here today to conduct the meeting on what to do with the second-year students. I believe you have all read the reports, but this is here just for your reference. I would like to ask your opinion on how these students should be punished, General Duke." "I see no reason for these students to be punished. I urge the rest of the sergeant to take extra precaution. Unlike Brandon, Vorden is an original. If his family was to get involved in it, would not be good for the academy." "How is the preparation for the portal outing coming along for the first-year students?" "Yes, everything has been all set up," Nathan said. "A green portal has been selected for the students to go through, and the base has made preparations for their arrival. It should all go smoothly next week." "Do you know what planet the expedition will take place on?" "It's best to ask your students to pack some sun cream and their sunglasses, as they will be arriving on the planet Kaladi. Planet Kaladi, a planet that was mostly covered in desert and contained low-tier beasts." The 3 of them then proceeded to head into town. Peter spotted a group of high-level first-years he had met before. They had signaled to him they wanted to talk. Vorden looked at Quinn, realizing that they both thought Peter's words sounded suspicious. The student standing in front of the group had a scar on his chin, and his name was Earl. "What the hell do you think you were doing calling the teacher the other day? Now, we have another job for you, Peter, and you better do it right this time, you understand? Now this time, you better do it right, and be sure not to involve anyone." "I know you said your ability resets every day, but you never said you could wield 2 abilities at once. There are some in my family that can even hold 3. How does it exactly work?" "I honestly can't tell you anything. You know Originals rules and all. If you copy an ability you've never received before, how are you able to fight with them so well?" "Let me show you something," Vorden said. "You see that thing? I grew up playing on that. There's a popular game played in the outside world and within the military schools called Power Fighter. The game itself is used to help people train. Anything you do in the real world, you can do in the game." Vorden then walked up to the capsule and touched the front of the capsule. "Even if I can't perform it in the real world, I can practice with it in the game." Quinn finally understood how Vorden was able to become adverse with multiple different abilities. You can even input your power level. This way it will match you with those people around the same level. It sounded amazing and was exactly what Quinn needed. This way he was able to practice against other students without others realizing it was him. The two of them slowly climbed into the VR capsule. Quinn was now in a large, empty white room. Welcome to Power Fighter. What would you like to do? Log in, register, play as guest. As Vorden had suggested for now, Quinn decided to play as a guest. Room invite accepted. Transporting in 3, 2, 1. Only this time, Vorden was there as well. He looked like a completely different person. Vorden, is that you? The game allows you to customize your character, so you can make it look like whatever you want. Do you want to watch me play a few games so you know how the game works? Vorden asked. Vorden was going up against another Earth user. The match had only lasted a total of 5 minutes, but while watching the game, Quinn started to figure out how it worked. With the other two now fast asleep, Quinn was still awake messing around with his system. He was busy watching the tutorial videos of the hammer strike. Before entering his capsule, Quinn looked around the room and noticed some students carrying their beast weapons with them. But after watching the games Vorden had played yesterday, he did see a few of his opponents have one, which meant that the game was also able to recognize the power of beast weapons. Scan complete. The beast weapon may now be used with the capsule. Please create a user ID. Quinn thought long and hard. He didn't want anything that could give his real identity away, but at the same time he wanted a name that would express his newfound self. Finally, he had settled on a name. User ID created, Blood Evolver. The next step was to design his character. After going through all the options, he finally decided on a red, spiky-haired character who wore simpler villager clothing. Quinn was once again teleported to the large, white, empty room. He was currently dressed as the character and even had his gauntlets on. It seemed like Quinn's system and abilities still worked inside the game. Before going into his first game, Quinn wanted to test out the hammer strike. He had been watching the video all last night and felt like he was ready. Place your foot forward like this and at the same time rotate your body. The energy should flow through your toes upwards. Then, as you pull back your hand, stomp on the ground and at the same time release the energy through your fist. Quinn mumbled as he went through the steps. He could feel the energy rising from the bottom of his feet into his fist. The powerful strike left his hand and a loud bang was heard. A small shockwave in the air was created. I did it, Quinn said. For his first match, Quinn wanted to go against the same power level user as him. The game had found him an opponent and he was immediately teleported to an arena. Quinn got in close to the student and was ready for whatever was to come. The attack was slow, and Quinn was able to block but chose not to, and allowed the attack to scratch against his chest. Although he took damage in the game, nothing had happened to his real body outside. Quinn got in closer to the student. Quinn ducked underneath the attack and threw out a punch to the student's stomach. Opponent has been defeated. 25 EXP has been earned. 305 of 400 XP. Quinn immediately went to search for another game. He set the power level to level 1. That way he would be matched up against easy opponents. An opponent was almost found instantly, and Quinn got straight to work. Then a few moments later, a match was found. This time, when Quinn entered the arena floor, he could see his opponent standing opposite him. He was wearing a long red cape, and by his side were 2 daggers. But before the match began, Quinn made sure to open up his status screen and decided to leave it open and off to the side. When both of them were ready, the countdown started over their heads. 3, 2, 1. Quinn then decided to attack with his own blood swipe. The 2 lines of power clashed in the middle and canceled each other out. The caped man, seeing this, threw more wind strikes out, but Quinn just replied back with his own blood swipes, but this time sending out 4 of them. That's when the caped man lifted his cape and spun around. The blood strike smacked into the cape, but there was no effect and not even a scratch left on the cape. Is that beast armor? And a high level one at that? Quinn lifted his hands and managed to grab onto the daggers, allowing the blade to just come out from his fingertips. I don't know what your ability is, but it's over, the capped man said. As he turned around, a sharp claw penetrated the man's stomach. The man watching in the arena stood up on his feet as he saw his friend lose the match. The 2 of them so far had been on a winning streak, taking it in turns facing opponent after opponent. The sudden loss had come as a shock to them. Then, just as Quinn was about to log out and go find another match, he heard someone call out to him. Wait! The man in the seat shouted. Please fight me! Quinn had no problem with this and accepted, but unknown to him, the man he was about to face was one of the strongest students from another military school. He was a second year from another academy, and in his academy, he was well known for being one of the strongest second years. Hard Steely has sent you a friend request. Quinn accepted the friend request and was happy to fight. Blood Evolver has accepted your friend request. Before the match was about to begin, Nate had asked if he could speak to his friend Sam for a few moments. Nate proceeded to pat Sam on the shoulder with pity before walking to his fighting spot. 3, 2, 1, and the match had begun. And as soon as Quinn was within 5 meters, he threw out 2 blood swipes. Suddenly, Nat's speed dropped dramatically. His skin started to turn into a shiny material. The metal shine from Nate's body seemed to shift and now was concentrated in his arm. It allowed Nate to move a lot faster and close the distance. He pushed his hand forward, and out came a long metal silver pole. It was too fast for Quinn to react, and the pole dug into his stomach and continued to push him back. "Wow, looks like you're strong as well." Nate then grabbed Quinn's fist and with his other hand formed the pole, whacking him to the ground. "Come on, you should be better than this," Nate said. It had been a while since Quinn felt like this, weak. "Come on!" When Quinn got close enough, Nate threw out his fist, and at the same time, he responded with Flash Step, avoiding the strike and appearing behind Nate. Quinn then lifted his foot off the ground, let the energy go through from his toes up to his fist. As he stomped down with one foot, he pulled back one hand and let out another fist. Nate's eyes grew in shock as he saw the attack bring his health down by nearly half. As Nate turned to look at where his opponent was, he was surprised to see Quinn collapsed on the ground. "Let's do this again sometime," Nate said as he stabbed Quinn on the ground, ending the game. There was one thing he needed to learn about more than anything, especially if he wanted to get stronger in the future. When he had gone against Sam, he had used a cape that was able to block his blood swipe. The material was not only flexible, but strong as well. The cape was most likely made from some type of beast from one of the portals. If Quinn could get enough of this material, maybe he could make a suit of some kind that could not only protect him from the sun, but also be strong enough to be used in combat. "All right, class, I have an important announcement to make. The preparations for your first portal outing have been completed. It's time for you kids to go explore the universe a bit more." In today's world, there were generally 3 different groups of people who had and owned portals. The military was the first group. Next were private corporations. They usually had powerful originals backing them. Many of these companies would also form a faction, a group of powerful travelers, just for exploring other planets. And lastly was the group known as Pure, a group that didn't believe in the use of abilities. There were 3 types of portals, each different in color. There was green, orange, and red. Green meant that the planet it led to had already been explored, and there were human shelters that had been built. The next was orange. This meant that the planet hadn't been fully explored yet. There were some shelters in place, but the level of the beast could be too high in certain areas, or they just hadn't explored everywhere yet. And finally, the red portals. These were unexplored planets. There were no shelters for regular humans to live in. Only travelers or military personnel would usually go into these portals for exploration, and the worst thing about them was they didn't know if the Dalki were on the planet as well. Yes, this also led us to discover beasts on these planets, and they are what we use to create our beast weapons. Now for the important part. The portal expedition will take place next week, but before even that, you will be required to form your own team of 5. Today you are to form a team of 5 and report back to us by the end of the day. "Hey, Quinn, you want to be on the..." But standing by Quinn's side already was Layla. "Hey, Quinn, do you mind if I join as well?" "Of course, and Peter as well." "Yeah, that would be good." Then, when the others were just thinking about who the 5th member should be, Aaron had approached Vorden, of all people in the room. "I want to make a team with you."
Hi, Quinn here. Wondering what happens next? If you want to jump the queue and unleash all episodes, click on the link here and install the Pocket FM app.